one of that.
That's what
creepy
you
style.
see. I see a fat ass.
Nah, he's doing
twerking
an
it.
Omni-Man.
No, he's gonna.
Point
No,
the
Van
turn
was
and
warning
the
us for when
plan.
we reach that part of the workshop. Part of the workshop he's gonna be twerking.
Indeed. But with that being said, let us go to. Let's see, what's a nice scenery we could
Remember,
use?
drink water and stretch. I see two of you guys stretching.
Let's
Good
use the
job.
arena.
All right, everyone, go to the forest and go to the arena. Thank you.
And to get one last funny out of the way, happy April Fools, everyone. If you go into your tools in your radial menu, a new button has been added, in case you haven't seen it before. You can now skip leg day.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It confused the fuck out of me.
Hey, yeah, I am from
Oh my
Hawaii
god, it's
world.
metaverse.
Oh my
Wait,
God.
what? What do I do? You pull out your menu and what?
Open up your gear menu and go to tools, and you can skip leg day. It's above your camera.
Horizon World is shutting down, finally.
Bruh, I would have never fucking seen that at all. Anime looks exactly the same.
Hello?
It's
Give me a
insane.
moment.
Because
I
I'm
am
in a
having a.
dress.
I'm in a
I'm
dress.
having a.
That was a bad one.
Well, skipped leg day.
Yeah.
That one?
I look different if I'm in a different dress.
What are you getting, Daniel?
No, I cracked my shoulder.
Everybody's done it. I am happy.
Actual character
Yeah.
arsenal. So
Hey, now, well, it's probably gonna be gone after April Fools, but this would be a good thing for like ghosts or shit. But unfortunately, it's probably gonna go away after April 1st.
Why my teeth
Yeah.
I mean, I can do that too.
Oh.
I just need to, turn off locomotion, take on my my feetsies, and just kind of put them in the ceiling.
No. No, like
Okay, looks like I am having a bit of a malfunction with my tracking. Give me a moment. My apologies. Come on, fix yourself. I did. Alright. So,
Actually, doesn't look that.
first things first, we shall be going over some basics of combat etiquette, the nonos and dudus. So, that being said, I do need a living volunteer. Preferably living. That was first. Alright.
Sorry, I'm undead.
Blonde
I feel
twin,
like for the
come
workshop,
to the
we should at
center.
least turn our legs back on.
I was very happy that nobody's shifted until just now.
Alright, so a bit of a basic thing when it comes to combat etiquette. As all of you guys know, we have big fuck of bricks on our head. That means we are very limited in what we can see, what we can hear, and what we can do. Not all of us suddenly have legs. So when you're fighting someone, it is good that the two people realize that they're fighting each other. So, one of the don'ts that we do around here is we don't do this. Do you see a... Tracking? Hello? Sorry. Do you see a problem with this picture?
I have no idea who's attacking them, if at all.
Indeed.
Yeah, he's not taking his hits.
Now, if you do have to attack someone from behind, you usually go... "Ooh!" or just... General, like, sound or... anything to get their attention. Now, one of the other things that we don't really do around here is... from behind, you're dead. Now, of course, there are exceptions to this rule. If you're a player or a sneak mission and you are a rogue, you can, sneak up to a player, not a player, sorry, an NPC and just do this. However, as a general rule of thumb, if you are on a battlefield scenario, we don't want to just instantly you're dead from behind, you're dead from behind. The reason for that being, it's not really fun. At least for the other person. Now, if you do want to do a lethal strike from behind, It's usually good to leave something like that for a roguish character. Now, another
Could I add
thing.
something to that?
Yes.
So when you strike from behind, and like you're just doing a swing to swing, you can go ting or, but it does nothing.
Additionally, making the sound of footsteps running towards from behind also helps.
Indeed. Alright. Another thing that we don't do around here. Dab, attack me. Eh. 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 What is wrong with my picture right now? Eh.
You're not taking your hits and your RP dodging.
Indeed. We call that rubber banding. When someone attacks you, you just pull your goddamn joystick all the way to avoid damage. We don't do that around here, and we usually try to take our hits. When you're fighting someone, it's usually the best to avoid using your joystick and use your hands to block, use your feet to dodge. However, I know that not everyone has room, so there are situations where you can use your joystick, but with limits. Just pop it a little bit. Left, right, center, stuff like that. Genuinely try to make sure you don't look like you're running all over the place while fighting one-on-one with someone. Alright,
Can I add
let's
something to
see.
that? Something I
Yes,
don't-
you
that I
can.
do? So something I do is if someone comes in and like strikes me, and I take the blow, I go like that. Like I still took it, but because they hit me, I stumbled back, giving them room to readjust and realign.
Indeed.
And if I had used my whole space, I could actually do it again. Pull back from the joystick. Have it.
Alright. Now, let's see. Are there any dons that I am forgetting about?
Explain RP.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Bessa. So, while you're fighting someone, I know that everyone likes to do cool things and special moves. However, when you're fighting an opponent and you go, okay, I'm going to go between your armor. I'm going to grab you now. I'm going to start bam, 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 and I'm going to now suplex you, and now you're dead. What did I do wrong in this situation?
You choreographed
Warning
everything.
is nothing compared to doing.
Yeah.
Not exactly. Now, there are sometimes situations where you do have to explain something. For example, DM, I'm using my 3 times a day ability to disarm an opponent, please roll. Sometimes you have to do that, yes. However, if you're just doing an explain RP of, okay, now I'm going to do this to you, now I'm going to do this to you, and now I'm going to do this to you, where does that leave the other person to say anything or do anything? Because if you just walk up to someone and break your arm now... Not cool, man.
If I may add on to this, Dan.
Yes.
Certain things for explain RP are fine, but not like sitting there and fully explaining. Like if you're going for somewhere that you know they can't see, like our limits are here for our sides and about this wide for out in front. It is a cone both ways. So if you're going low and they can't see you, you going low swing, that's fine. Because that's just letting them know I'm heading low.
Indeed. Also, for us fellow blooders who do not have a full body, sometimes going in kick, like this is good because, you know, I cannot physically kick even though I'm doing a kankan right now.
Source.
I got a question.
But he can, the bastard. Yes, transform.
So, if I can approach
Yes.
to explain. Okay. So, for example, with some kind of times when I fight, for example, with the load I'm using here, you see I've got a dagger. It may be a case where I will alert. I'm just going to explain with you, Thanatos. Like, we may be sword fighting, I might be striking here, and then I might just go low blow, or I might, if I forget to say low blow, I might just go, hey, peekaboo, or something, to alert you to there's more to with my other hand.
That is more than fine, because that's like a explanation in character. Just go, hey, fucker, get stabbed.
Exactly. Yeah. Try and...
Yeah, something like that is more than fine.
Exaggerated motions and sound effects are also a really good way to make sure that you can telegraph whatever you're trying to convince the other person you're doing.
Indeed.
Yeah.
While real sword fighting is very cool and it's very efficient, in VR, because of delay and lag, we often don't really see those precise movements. So it is recommended that you go wide and you go kind of slow, just so the opponent can see what you're doing. Because if you do this, that's not fun.
Example.
It's just that one scene from Star Wars. Indeed. Alright. Oh, tracking? Come on. Alright. Am I missing anything else? Let's see.
Weapon white.
Weapon weight. Alright. So, at the current moment in time, both me and Dab are using a longsword. Yes? And now he's using a dagger. Alright, we can show that off. As a person with a bigger weapon, of course, I am going to be moving a bit slower. And I'm going to show off that weight. Also, I have a superior reach to him, which means he's in a bit of a disadvantage. However, as soon as he closes this distance, ow, he stabs me right in the gut. Alright. But yes, if you are someone who uses a big fuck of weapon, you are supposed to show off the weight of that weapon. Even though in real life, because in real life you are able to swing a big sword fucking fast, but in VRChat roleplay, for the sake of not killing everyone instantly, we are doing it slowly. Now, if I can just very quickly.
Even more so for colossal type weapons.
Indeed.
Yeah, colossal weapons are more heavier because they tend to be almost twice the size or even 3 times the size as the person wielding them. They take an extreme amount of strength. Things like great swords.
Move slower.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
like great swords. In actual real life, you can move them this fast. You actually can, from actual people who use them.
Yeah.
You can learn to move them that fast. But for VR, slow, big
Do you want
swings.
to touch on the colossal great Thanatos?
I think
Yeah,
I'm setting
well-
up for something else.
I will find a colossal in a bit, but first I'm
can,
going to
help
show
it
up.
also.
Alright, do it. But first of all, daggers! They're cool and very quick. When you're fighting with daggers, you will want to show that off. So this is more of a weapon for people who have body movement in them. And And this is a good thing to talk about dual wielding for a second. Oh, I lagged. Give me a moment. Apologies. How do we handle dual wielding? You have 2 weapons, your opponent has 1. Dual wielding can sometimes be very unfair. I just cut your handle. So,
I'll be right back.
how do you think we should handle dual wielding? Any ideas?
If it's from the perspective of an NPC against a player, it would be advised to have both weapons going in somewhat of the same direction, so it's not too unfair.
Indeed. Where it comes to... And this is a difference between a player and an NPC. Players, you guys can be a bit more skilled. You guys can be a little bit more unfair. But where it comes to NPCs, we do need you guys to eventually die, sadly. However, you have to give people one hell of a fight. So you can do dual wielding 2 ways. You can either... Same direction... Or... Use one to block, the other to attack. Now, you also have a hand dab, so yes. It's always fun. Alright, are there any more basics I am forgetting about? Let's see.
Clashing
Shield
and
fighting.
resetting.
That too.
Alright, clashing. Let us clash our weapons then. Now, from this point on, what might happen is we might both struggle, we might both try to against each other. What will happen in this situation if a DM doesn't interfere and says something along the lines of either a strength check or something else? Again, look to who you're fighting and what you are at the current moment. If it's a player versus player kind of thing, it is hopefully you will resolve it amongst yourself of one of you pushes the other one of you takes a hit perhaps. Now, if it's a player against an NPC clashing like this, it will depend on what DM information as an NPC you got. If you were told, oh, you're just a peasant, you're more than likely losing that crash. However, if you were said to be, yes, you're a legendary 99 warrior, 99 level warrior, you're gonna give players a harder time doing those clashes. Let's see, what was the thing you said before, Dab?
I said shield combat if you're using a shield.
Shield combat, let me grab one real quick. That's not a shield, that's a dagger. And that's a buckler, no thanks. Shield combat. How do we handle those?
You want me to go?
Yep.
Alright, so when it comes to shield combat, if you're fighting someone who's another shield user, you guys can bash and do this all day. But for it to be fun is if both of you bash or one of you bashes, the both of you open up. To give the other person to swing or the both of you to clash, or you pull up your shield and block it, and so it can be a cool back and forth.
Dude.
Something I've seen people do is try to hook and pull the shield open and strike, which is a thing historically you can do, but it doesn't get telegraphed well, because if we're sitting there fighting and I do this, Thanatos isn't really going to see it, and he just is going to go for the bash anyway. And also, don't be afraid, like, yes, it's a shield, yes, it's supposed to protect you, but say Thanatos comes in with a swing, or like that, it opens, but I'm not defenseless because I still have the sword. I'm going for a swing. And then I duck it, and we keep going.
Also, as I showed earlier, a shield is also a weapon. You can absolutely just punch a motherfucker like this. So don't be afraid to do that. Also, one other thing about shields. I know in real life it is realistic to go like this, where your shield is always in front of you. However, when it comes to RP combat, it is good to leave that shield sometimes in the open, just to give another person an opportunity to strike at you. And you may ask, why would I have given a person an opportunity to strike at me? Well, you see, because we are all RARPing, at the end of the day, we are here to have fun and we are here to explore our characters. It's not exactly fun if I RP block, I RP block, I RP block, I RP block, and take no damage the whole fight. Sometimes you might have a little bit of a fun just going back and forth, taking hits, bastard. Even if at the end doesn't give you an injury, you can take a small injury here and there yourself, even if it's not counted as one, so to say. Yes, Iron?
Can I add a thing towards the lesson about shields?
Sure.
Even though a shield is solid metal, there's still a squishy arm behind that. So you can hold up as much as it wants, but if a heavy enough strike comes in and the arm's at a wrong angle, that can go very easily. Like with Mordhouse strikes, or flails, or mauls, bludgeoning things, or vibrations down the arm cause it to... here's a good example.
Indeed. Now, unless you're someone like Lady Erebus or Tommy who has a triple advantage to strength, it is not recommended, because what more than likely will happen is a DM will roll for you, and it will not be a blocking roll, it will be a damage roll of how fucked up your arm is at this current moment. So, blocking giant-ass monsters is
Not
very
advised.
much not recommended.
You got dodges, blocks, riposts, and attack. Choose which one's fitting and survive.
Indeed. And speaking of giant-ass monsters, since I'm already in this avatar, as an NPC, how do we portray giant-ass monsters? So, puny god. Oh wait, that's Hulk.
You're tanky,
You're generally
you're
going
slow.
to go slow. Now, that doesn't mean that every single one of your swings has to be slow. You can still do something like this. A quick jab like that. However, it's not going to have as much power behind it as a big ol' swing. However, when it comes to the general speed you want to go with, you want to be slow enough so other person can see it. And what I recommend is doing a little bit of a small pause right here and seeing how the person reacts. It is usually advised to do that as an NPC. However, if a player takes a hit from that, they take a hit from that. I know it is a lot, but no worries. So, let's see. Another thing about giant enemies, you want to make sure you're not going like...
Not too slow.
Not too slow. And also not just bam, 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 bam. Because, you know, realistically, a giant dude like this would not be this slow. But still, this is RP combat, so we have to be a bit of a slowing, yes. Also, how do you as a player
Medium
fight giant
speed.
enemies? Would you like to take this one, Dab?
So there's a few ways you can fight giant enemies. depending on your equipment, dictates what you do. Say I have big sword. Well, they throw a big swing at me. I can actually meet and then deflect and come around with another attack. Or I can actually attack at their head, which is something that people with long weapons can do. Colossal weapons can meet blow for blow because you generally have the strength to swing and match whatever they're doing. If you got a spear, you just do spear stuff. Halberd. Just never try to directly attempt to block, because like they were saying, it's either going to break your weapon, break your arm, or break you. So just
Believe
always
me,
try
I
to
have
dodge.
broken many of your guys' shields.
And then if you got a gun, you just shoot the fucker right in the head, so...
Of course, in more likely cases than not, best to fight Biggins as a group.
Yeah, that's better as well.
Indeed. Also, as a big NPC enemy, sometimes you can do a funny thing of... Now, a player will usually try to dodge that, but if you actually do get your hands on a player... Now, we obviously don't want to just kill them, because you could probably just snap their spine right here. Usually we do a throw, or we do something else. We just grab him and just... and then leave him here. Just like real Shadow of War game. But now I would like to talk about player versus NPC interactions. Don't worry, we will get to fighting ourselves soon. Alright. Let's say Dab is a player and I'm an NPC. We are both on the same combat level. What do you think my lifespan is?
At least maybe a minute.
Alright. Dino?
Depending on the circumstances, like anywhere from like a minute to I'd say at most like at like very 3 minutes.
Alright. Transform?
Between 3 to 5 hits, depending on the armor you're wearing and weapons you're using.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it can go a little longer.
Sometimes
We're
indeed.
trying to have fun and make a cool moment.
Yep.
If you're up against a player or an NPC that is of similar skill level with you, yes, as an NPC, your lifespan will be usually like 3 good hits on you or a few minutes. Well, not few, usually a minute. But if you're fighting a player as an NPC, you bastard! How dare you invade our bandit camp! You. And that was the 3rd hit. Now, of course, things may change based off circumstances. Let's say a DM says, okay, players are getting a bit cocky, we need to push them back. Oh, you bastard! Then your survivability is better, but still, if a player does something that... Yes, I know, we are getting a bit out of the bounds. Yeah. That was my face. Alright. But yes, when you're fighting on an equal foot with a player, usually a good rule of thumb is, okay, they've given me 3 good hits, I go down. Now, if you're an NPC, I'm sorry if you hear anyone in the background. Now, if you're an NPC who's supposed to be stronger against a player, the 3 hits suddenly become either 6 or they become until DM tells me I'm dead. If you're an NPC that is ordered to you're alive till I say you're not alive, then usually you're going to be fighting with a player a lot longer and going to give them a hell of a longer time.
Run for their money.
Now, all right. Let's see, is there anything else about melee combat that I need to cover?
You're supposed to maybe show that you're like better than the player, just like in general.
If you're an NPC that's better than a player, you are of course supposed to show it off. What you can do is either show your skill if you have some, or if a player tries to do something funky, go on, do something funky, Dab. Nice try, weakling. You can sometimes show off. But yeah, of course, it all depends on what the DM told you. If you are a badass fighter as an NPC, then yeah, you're supposed to be fucking people up. Now, one important thing about NPCing and listening to DMs is if a DM says something, even if you're doing something as an NPC, it's usually good. Well, I say usually. It's good to follow the DM's instructions. So, if you're fucking up a player and a DM says, unfortunately, my good NPC with a natural 20, the player that you've been brutalizing kills you right here, right now, you take the hit. You don't fight a DM about it. Because it ain't fun for anyone if an NPC coup de grace you. Now, what is a coup de grace? A coup de grace means that... Oh, hey, you're down. Twist, twist, twist. I'm sure you won't need that death roll, right? I'm just gonna cut your head off. Alright, he's dead. Yes, we generally don't try to coup de grace players, so if you're an NPC and if you manage to down a player, it is recommended to let them stay down and you just move out to try to find another player to fight. Bonk. Something that I'd also like to go over, because we forget it a lot, is our injury system. We have minor injuries, we have major injuries, and we have critical injuries. Now, what's the difference between those injuries? Does anyone here know?
Indeed.
Dino.
A minor injury is usually something like a scratch, a bruise, something that you can most of the time kind of just walk off. It will hurt, but it's not threatening. A major injury is something that can affect your combat capabilities, such as a deep cut. It's a lot more worrying, but again, it's not necessarily fatal. A critical injury is like if you got stabbed through the stomach. It needs to be treated, or else you will go into probably a death state. I'm not gonna say you're gonna die, but you'll probably go into a death state.
As an example of this, let's say me and Dab are fighting. I'm sorry, I'm using you as a test dummy today, Dab. Anyway.
Okay.
Me and Dab are fighting, and a DM says, unfortunately, Dab, with a 13 or an 11, you get a minor injury to your thigh. What happens in this situation? Well, he loses a hit point, yes, but his ability to fight or do things is not affected otherwise. So he's still fine to continue combat for the rest of session. He's still fine to do those pirouettes, as it is only a minor wound that can be fixed pretty easily. Now, for a major wound, we are fighting. Unfortunately, Dab, with a 9, this one breaks your wrist. Now, a major wound is a lot more debilitating. Yes.
Debilitating.
Debilitating. Thank you.
Yes.
Debilitating.
It's the kind of wound that you need to get fixed after the current round of combat is done. Otherwise, well, you will still continue to fight injured. Someone has to fix your broken wrist, or otherwise you're not going to swing your sword as good. So,
Mechanically
yes.
speaking, if you don't get a major wound treated when you have the chance, you'll be fighting at a disadvantage die stacked on top of any of the bonuses you have. There is a mechanical deficit for not getting healed of a major wound.
Indeed, we do have that in our RP systems thingy. Now, to go over critical wounds. We're fighting again, and unfortunately, Dab, you have forgotten to wear your codpiece. And with a natural 1, I stab right through.
No.
I am sorry, you're never having children. A critical injury is an injury that, unless you have something special in your character sheet, like for example Alphonse, who goes on a rampage after a critical injury, you're supposed to go down once you get that injury. As it is, well, as I've demonstrated just now, you need treatment almost immediately after getting a critical. A critical injury also means that you're losing an additional hit point. You see, with minor injuries and major, you only lose 1 hit point when that happens. With critical injuries, you immediately lose 2 hit points. Now, you don't get death rolled after you received a critical injury. You only get death rolled after all of your life points are expanded. So you will still live, but you know, someone should probably fix that hole around your thing. Otherwise, there might be some implications in character. And that's more or less it. Ah, yes.
May I go over the last tier so people know the mechanics of it? 'Cause I'm sure everyone would like to know it. And so we come to, not to be confused for a critical injury, critical state. When a player is dropped to 0 HP, they are incapacitated and must be healed within 5 minutes. If they are not healed, their treatment fails, they will be death rolled. Starting with a 3, by the way, so you know what the stakes are. Unlike minors or majors, if you fail treatment on a critical state, I should mean, then that's bad. Otherwise, we're forgiving for now when it comes to the initial 3 injury trees. The critical state, if you're there, that means you fucked up somehow.
Indeed. As an example, Dab is in full plate armor, so he has 6 hit points on him. So you can survive technically 2 criticals before... Ow. Alright, let's see. Oh yeah,
What about,
to note...
wait, while you're on the topic, guns. Because they
Indeed.
specifically do something with armor.
Yeah, like.
I was planning to show this off when we go over ranged weapons. However, let's say I shoot Mr. Dab right here, right now. Mr. Dab is wearing a full plate of armor. That means he has 6 hit points. Now, what guns do is they take away 2 hit points automatically. Does that mean that they automatically give you a critical wound? No, they just take 2 hit points away from you. If, however, a gun does critical damage,
My God.
that means that 3 hit points are taken away from you and you need to be healed right fucking now.
You get Gale. Oh.
Now, because guns are considered anti-armor, you cannot defend against them using a thing like a wooden shield. You need a shield specifically made of steel or better material, and even then, it will only take 1 hit point out of you. Oh, I switched hands for some reason. Oh. Instead of 1. Come on, you. He's driving. Ugh. So, he's doing better, he only took 1 hit point.
And that's with steel shields, you said, right?
Indeed, you need a shield
Steel or better.
of a steel tier or better in order to block a gun. So, something like this round shield right here, you see this bad boy is made out of wood. Wood is not good against guns.
Dinosaur has a question.
Yes, Dinosaur.
This has only popped up like once or twice. But what happens if somebody uses a like magical shield, for example, against a gun? Does that still apply, or does a magical shield actually block a bullet?
So,
I believe
magics
it depends
are...
on the level of the person, doesn't it? Like if
Yes,
the
magics
level of
are
magic.
very complicated thing to implement. However, if you are an apprentice mage, the lowest tier of mage we have, and you use a shield to block a bullet, it will work the same as a wooden one. Only if you're an adept or better will it count towards the same type of tier as a steel shield. It is a bit of a complicated thing because we do have to keep in mind, okay, who's this person doing magic and what are their level, but
Isn't
we
it
manage.
the second level? Sorry.
It's novice,
No.
adept.
Yeah, not,
Oh,
no,
right.
Novice, apprentice, and then adept.
Novice apprentice. So yeah, novice apprentice are still considered wooden shields, and adept and upwards
Gotcha.
are considered steel or above.
Understood.
If you're an expert mage, you will block a bullet fully, but that's with a good roll. And since we are on the topic of ranged and ranged combat, what am I doing with my gun? If I go over here and Mr. Dab stays looking at Miss Anime over there. Now, what's wrong with this picture exactly?
He doesn't
Same
exactly
problem
know if that
with
thing's
hitting him in the back.
broken or- Yeah.
Indeed, it is the same problem with hitting them in the back. Now, thankfully, Moosman is a genius and he thought to give us a big boom and a giant smoke screen, but even like this, Dap cannot really tell who am I shooting at. I could be shooting at Anime or Tommy, for example, and he wouldn't know. When you're trying to shoot at another player or an NPC,
Like a bland.
I know it's a pain in the ass, but usually it's good if you are shooting at someone who's unaware of you. You just need to call a DM, because otherwise the other person will not see it.
Yeah, it's the same with distance. If you're up on a hill or something and you shoot at someone, no one can tell who you're shooting at. So that's when us DMs come in and it's like, hey, who are you shooting at? And you tell us who, and we'll just go over and be like, alright, you've been shot at.
Sadly, the technology is just not there, so for a very long-ranged combat, it's usually up to DM rolls. However, if you're like this... Oh, you fucker in armor, you fucking elf twink! I put my weapon away by accident, give me a sec. Fuck. Come on! I wish to reload. Why am I struggling so much? Don't worry. He can clearly tell that I am looking specifically at him and not at Andy over there. So yes, even if you are doing ranged combat with a ranged weapon, you have to get a little bit close to your enemy in order for that said enemy to know that they are being shot at. It's the same with bows, it's the same with crossbows and guns. Unfortunately, you need to make the other person aware that they are being shot at, or else they won't react at all. My heart. Now, what exactly do we do in a situation like this? Well, for one, we can wait for a DM to declare, oh, he missed, or he misfired, or you somehow dodged it. Or we can go, oh yeah, just you fucking took it. If you're an NPC, you usually just go with, oh, they shot at me, I take it. If you're a player, you can go with, you know, I take it, or you can desperately search for a DM all around you.
Just a normal god.
I'll just pull a Wesker and be like,
That's what I was gonna say. Is you pull up the gun and you fire, and I just.
ah yes, the Torel move.
High reward.
Just track if you actually got hit or not, and then at the end be like, hey DM, I thought I got hit by this.
Now, for
A
this
lot
net,
of this is trust-based and honesty. Take it or don't, all the same. Be honest, be fair, be kind to each other. You know, this is a collaborative storytelling effort. It's better just be honest.
indeed. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about magic. So, where it comes to... Yes, Dino? Sorry, didn't notice you.
Sorry, there was one more thing which I thought should be mentioned about the range stuff, which is reload times. Because there has been times that people have forgotten
Indeed.
Shall
So,
I
in
rattle?
our-
Yeah, Pancake has
Yes.
something up. Go ahead, Pancake.
Bows are 5 seconds. They're the fastest thing you're able to reload. Crossbows are 20 seconds. Pistols are 25 seconds. Muskets are 30. Heavy crossbows are also 30, but they're the only bolt weapon that can also do 2 HP. But they could be possibly blocked by any type of shield. A blunderbuss is 40 seconds because they do 3 HP. And here's the biggest one, which people should be aware of. Cannons and colossal type ranged weapons. These aren't an armor
For example,
DC.
a ballista that Erebus has.
Yes. These are dex checks to see if you get hit, because you can't tank them. They either hit you or you don't get hit. It's a DC 12 dex check. If you fail, you get taken down 6 HP. And I believe the maximum for most people here is 6 in full plate. So you don't want to get hit by a colossally ranged weapon.
Indeed, unless you have some sort of edge that gives you +1 HP, you cannot tank a ballista going through your everything.
Yeah, I heard someone had a question.
Transform said what?
Yeah,
I'm
Transform.
just surprised. I'm just
Yes.
surprised, that's all. I'm just
Noble
surprised
Dark.
that there is that we have one-tap weapons.
Oh, trust me, there's something somewhere that can probably instant kill you. You're just not there yet.
To be fair, you guys, unless you're Tommy with a triple advantage to strength, will never be able to lift a cannon. So,
Nah, I'm that guy.
More than likely, you'll be given all
Yes,
the ample
you're
time to get in the cover. And if for some reason you don't go in the cover, or, and I say this politely, do something deemed stupid, there will be consequences. Not calling out
Yes,
anyone
fun-
specific. I'm not
yes,
doing
fun
that.
things about colossal weapons is that they are strong, but they are slow. So if you see someone aiming a cannon at you, it will take them a very long time to actually aim that shot. So you have plenty of time to, well, go behind a building or a very large rock. Now, onto some magic.
Needs to be bigger though.
In my years of roleplay, there are 2 types of magic that I have seen. And it's the magic that you see and it's the magic that you don't. What do I mean by this? The magic that you don't see is something like this. I cast Hold Person. I cast Lightning. I cast balls.
Fireball.
Tungsten balls.
Tungsten Balsack.
Tungsten balls.
Indeed. That's the magic that you don't see. What does that mean? That means that the person using magic probably doesn't have any effects on their actual avatar, and they are just relying on pointing at you and saying words. In that situation, if you don't have any effects on your model, it is good to identify the guy you're trying to do a spell against. Oh, you little runt! I cast this and this. It's similar to guns where you make sure that the person is aware you're casting a spell at them specifically. Because otherwise, if you just go pew, 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 the person won't really know what you're doing.
I recognize that.
I believe it's
episode.
Fonterbringer. And that's the other magic, and that's the other kind of magic, the magic that you can see. As an example, like a blam! This is the kind of magic where a person actually has effects on their model, and of course, if they are casting a spell on you, yes, transform?
Actually, I can wait, because there was a range question I had.
Stood. So, if you see a big ball of magic, or a lightning bolt, or just a stream of fire coming at you, you are of course supposed to act accordingly. Oh fuck, I'm on fire, I need to roll around. Oh fuck, zap zap zap. Now, there is of course question of how do I defend against magic and how many hit points is magic going to take away from me. Now, as a mage, you of course have your spell slots. And the higher up the ladder of magic you go, the more spell slots you have and the more powerful spells you can cast. It is not said in the magic document, but I will probably add that later. When it comes to basic spell, like I cast Flamethrower or I cast Lightning, it's usually going to take away 1 hit point from a person if they take the hit or the DM tells them, oh, you took the hit. However, you mages can do something kind of funny even at lower levels and be like, DM, I would like to use 3 of my spell slots to cast this specific damaging spell on them.
Upcasting. Woo!
Upcasting. What does that mean? Well, that means your fireball, your stream of lightning, suddenly becomes a lot more powerful. Now, we don't exactly have it written yet, I do apologize, but depending on how many spell slots you sacrifice, the higher the, of course, damage will be of that specific spell. So, yes, Dab.
Would that up the chance for it to be able to hit? Because what if you spend all of those spells and then fucking it whiffs?
Can I iterate on this?
Yes, you can.
So, this is a lot of discretion not fully said in the document. You can surely attempt to do things of higher variety, but your level will be accounted for and will either make the DC more harder or more easier. It's not a thing of you can, it's how hard will it be. And even then, you might need like a natural 20 for certain things. At most, an average, the average player might reach Adept or Apprentice, which is 5 spell slots. Say for some that have reached the maximum tree. Hello, MD, I see you. Which is also the thing, if you do something super fucking easy at your level, you're more than likely to succeed.
Right. What if, in like cases such as myself, what if you're at, say, like a beginner or adept, and you decide you want to try something that is above your pay grade, but would using multiple spell slots for that make that DC smaller.
When it comes to things like that, it really depends on a spell. Sometimes it will make the DC easy indeed, but sometimes it may just be risky. Yes, Dub?
Quality and skill over quantity, exceptionally.
So, because from what I understand is because Torel is a knight and he is also has magic, he technically can never go past novice. If I practice
adept,
certain spells,
if I remember right.
Adept. Okay, so I can go up to adept.
Yeah.
But that means I can't ever go to vet knight. That makes sense. But if I practice certain spells, like as a character, and I hyper focus on that one spell, as a novice, can I actually get good to be able to cast that individual spell?
Are you
if I
asking
state
for
it?
proficiency bonus if you practice, put your effort into it?
No, because as I've been being rolled for, I'm being rolled as a novice. But I want to use a certain, hyper focus on a certain spell because I thought I would never get past novice.
So, to express a point here, even though you're at the middle ground, if you so choose, you can sacrifice one route to go the other. So if you want to keep going down the maze tree, you'll eventually lose proficiency in combat, at least melee. But you can go higher. You just have to choose one and stick with it. Or just do it the hard way, go up one, then train back down and go back up the other. I'm going to get all this out of the way, just so it's said. Magic against a mundane person automatically at advantage. It's like the combat system, but for magic. If you do something against someone who doesn't have magic, advantage. Someone with the same level of magic, flat. And if you try something on someone who's better at magic than you, you'll learn very quickly. You're on the back foot. And if it's like a huge gap, DM discretion how bad that is for you backlash-wise. But it's simplified.
As a reminder, the level of competency is incapable, novice, apprentice, adept, expert, and master. Master is DM locked. So keep that in mind.
God forbid there's a magical force of nature.
Oh, there already is one. Anyway,
so
to go back to your point, Dab, if you want to hyper focus on a spell, what I would perhaps recommend, as we don't exactly have a proficiency bonus or anything like that for when it comes to magic, even if you focus on a singular spell, it would probably be rolled the same all the time. And this is a fun thing where if you want, you can sacrifice one of your current edges to get an advantage in that specific spell. As an example, Kraja, he has an advantage in blood magic specifically and only blood magic. So if he tries to cast a fireball, he's not gonna get anything from that edge. However, if he tries to do a blood ritual, he does have an advantage from it on top of his bonus from being whatever level mage he is. So if you want to hyper focus on, let's say, hold person spell, you can sacrifice either one of your minor edges, or hell, you can go all in on it and sacrifice your major edge slot just so you can be a hold person guy. That is something that's possible. As at the current moment, we don't really have proficiency bonuses for doing a specific spell over and over and over again. Right.
AoEs.
Yes?
I was actually going to ask
AoEs.
that.
So,
AoE, area of effect.
where it comes to AoE spells, if I remember right, you unlock AoE spells at Adept. Correct me if I'm wrong, Pancake.
Yes. Here is a visual representation of an AoE for you, Pan.
Yeah.
Indeed. So, AoE, for example, healing all damaging spells you unlock at the Adept level. And what are AoE spells? Well, all of us are gamers, hopefully, so we know that those are area of effect spells. For example, DM, I use my AoE, I'd like to heal everyone within this circle. the DM will give you a roll based on your proficiency and will give everyone 1 hit point. Yes.
Could I cast an AoE as a novice, or is it specifically locked behind Adept?
It is locked behind
You can attempt to cast any spell of
Adept,
any level.
but
You are not locked
yes.
behind any of them. It's just that's the difficulty of casting it.
You can attempt, as Anime has said, but it will be a bitch to do so. It is not recommended.
It's like DC 15 or something higher.
If you are like a certain like style, like because I know there's no like class system here, but like
Tell James.
for me, since I'm a paladin and they're usually known for like having like auras, like aura protection, aura vitality, etc. Would I have an easier time to do that since I follow a burial also, or am I able to do that still?
Sorry, can you rephrase one more time?
So basically, well, because I'm using, of course, D&D logic. We're not doing D&D, but as a paladin, I usually do like divine smite. But also another thing that paladins do is having auras, whether that is like aura protection, aura vitality, crusader's mantle, etc.
Are they on a single person or an area of effect?
It is an area of effect, but a small area.
Then it would just function like an area of effect.
Different flavor, same means.
Yes, unless you have some sort of edge to ethereal type of magic, which I think you have. I don't quite remember.
I mean, I have a advantage for magical healing, but as for like any other like
So, yes, if you were to try to cast AoE healing, even as a novice, it would be a little bit easier for you then. But still, it would be difficult because, well, you are still a novice. Yes, Anime.
I'm going to talk to Discord because I don't know everyone. Also, on the topic of AoEs, because I know this was something that was confusing on one days. They are not discriminatory. You can't choose who's going to get affected by it. So, like, for an example of this, if it's healing, it's even going to heal my enemies if it's inside of it. If it's something for harming, it will harm my allies if it's in it, if they are in it. You cannot pick and choose who it affects because it is just an area. Like on the Richtown mission, it even healed Ryzen with an area of effect. It does not matter if they are friend or foe. If they're in the area, they're getting affected, be that good or bad. So keep that in mind, magic casters.
Would you then argue that specific types of spells... I'm sorry, Dub, I didn't see your hand. If we were to, hypothetically, follow D&D logic and go based off of D&D spell descriptors, that specifically say targets allies and or enemies, would that be then implied, or
yes,
are we
if
just
it
not
specifies, then yes.
Yes, if you, for example, go... sorry, you go first, Anima?
I was going to say, there are specific spells that people have written down that do translate into the VR space that do target specifics. Like, one person has something that he goes, it will give a buff to who I deem as an ally. Meaning if they trust that person, they get a buff from it. People they don't trust, even if they're their allies, if they do not trust them, they don't get the buff. But that is a technical area of effect. If it is specified to do that in its mechanics, then yes, that is what it will do. But if it's just a general, hey, I'm doing a heal area, it will not pick and choose. Dub.
You can...
Then Pancake.
Yes, Dub. Go on.
So, what if I cast an AoE healing, but I also cast, in the same moment, a radiant damaging spell that only affects undead?
Which one
So
do
you wish
cast?
to...
It depends on which one you cast first.
The radiant
if you
AoE
cast the-
damage?
Because if you cast the Radiant, it will do its damage, but if you're doing an AoE and it's not specified to be only your allies, it will also still heal the undead, technically.
Well,
But wouldn't holy magic hurt undead?
I guess that would.
So,
depend
not
on,
all
like, the
healing magic is holy magic. If it's holy healing magic, it won't affect undead and it may damage them. But if it's something like, let's say you're a necromancer and you cast healing magic, or if you're just like a normal mage and you cast healing magic, then it will heal some undead because it is not holy. If you're a paladin or if you're a cleric, then your healing magic will hurt undead.
And then by that extension, wouldn't casting like a radiant AoE only hurt undead and not people?
Yes.
Yes, because Radiant is still holy. That's another term for holy.
Unless that person is cursed or has some sort of weird hex on them, but those are specific situations.
It's like playing with type advantages or disadvantages. Honestly, that's what I'm coming to understand.
Yeah, kind of just like Pokemon.
Some monsters actually have written weaknesses.
If you are, yeah, it's pretty much like weaknesses. If you're just casting radiant damage just in general, let's say it's just like a normal person, that it's still technically damage, but it's additional damage if they're undead or cursed, to that degree. That's what I'm coming to understand, at least.
Yeah.
Dude.
Pancake had his hand raised as well.
Alright, I'll rattle off a few things. Going back to the first thing of targeting spells to multiple people. When it comes to spells that are specified like that, there's usually a set amount of people you can choose. So that's why it would technically be discriminated different than an AoE per se, if that makes sense. Like usually pick 5 people or etc, etc. Second off, because saying this fully.
So mass cure wounds.
Yes, you choose people. At expert level, I can point this out for AMD, the effectiveness of AoEs goes up again by 2. 2, I mean. So healing goes up to 2 minimum, and damage can possibly go up to 2 minimum. And if you choose to pump it full of spell slots, nuke, I guess. So that's also neat. And also as a more haha smile. Not all holy is good holy. You'll figure that out eventually, I'm sure.
Yes. But as an example of big spell that an expert mage can do, if Amdi wanted to, she could, you know that area around the Lord's Manor?
Yes.
He can blow up the Lord's Manor and make a big crater around it. If she wants. So, do it. I'm pumping for a big boom.
I'll do it when the Lord's in there.
Understood. Next session. Alright. Let's see. Are there any more questions about magic? Yes.
So, sorry, just to bring up with the AoEs again. When it comes to, because we referenced like D&D spells. One spell that I can think of off the top of my head would be Mass Cure Wounds, which is actually not centered on the caster, but centered on a point within their vision of a range of 60 feet. That's like the D&D. Of course, this would probably just be like a reasonable thing. DMs can say like, no, you can't aim that far.
Cones, such as that, right?
No, it's not a cone. It is a, basically, for example, I could be standing back here. I could say, hey, I'm going to cast Mass Cure Wounds centered between Login and Blackstone to heal Amity, Login, Blackstone, Tech, Dub, and Thanatos.
Okay.
Is that applicable?
That would be applicable, just keep in mind, unless you have a visible effect on that, you will have to, juggle
Inform
that a
DMs,
little
of
bit.
course,
Yeah. And that's really the struggle of AoE effects. Unless you have like a ring around you, the DM can't always tell how, I don't know how much is 60 feet. I don't use feet for day-to-day things.
No, exactly.
So I just have
But
to
it's like-
eyeball it, for example. And
Yeah,
I will
I
eyeball
think-
it probably wrong.
Yeah. When it comes to spells based off of D&D, we can't really use like the feat system or like the measurement systems they use unless someone's willing to go. All right, let's see. Hold on, let me just count that really quick. 1 and 2 and it doesn't work.
Well, what I usually do if someone casts an AoE, I say around here is close enough. They probably are in this AoE.
Yeah, it's better just to call it as you see it from a DM point.
Indeed. Are there any more questions about magic, ranged combat, or melee combat before we go into practical applications?
They're
Yes,
they're more
Transform.
like.
Sorry. Oh, that's
I thought maybe not raise my hand. No. I didn't raise my hand. I didn't follow the rules. You go ahead.
Okay. I wanted to ask about interruption when it comes to magic and ranged. Range more so in the case of reloading. If it is a case of I have just fired a shot, I'm using a rifle, I have a 30-second... Oh, you got something you want to add, or is that just stretching? Okay.
Go first. Go on.
I now need to reload that in that 30 seconds. If, say, someone was to charge me, from stopping and having to, reload the rifle and do all the hand movements to keep it in... Yeah, exactly. It's like it's thrown away from me. If, if I am able to retrieve said rifle and then continue the reload, say I'm 8 seconds in, I still have 22 seconds of reloading. Do I restart at that 8-second mark, or do I go back to the beginning?
It's the same for spells and guns. If you're reloading and let's say someone walks up to you and slashes your weapon, or if you're in the middle of chanting a spell and slashes at your hands, if you're a mage, you're going to have to start that spell over again if you didn't blow up from your spell being interrupted, of course. And where it comes to you being a gunner, you will have to unfortunately start that reload from scratch again.
Think of it like this: when your guns hit, your powder goes flying.
Yeah.
Actually, now I have.
Yeah, because you have to pack that thing in, and if you rattle it, it will just... Yes, Dab.
Two things. Special ammunition for weapons, bows, and all that. But what I do as Terrell is I'll be sitting there fucking reloading my pistol, and if something comes my way, I'm immediately going to try and run away or try to dodge it and reload still.
Yeah, you need to get distance, pretty much, is what you want to do when you're a ranger.
We learned the hard way, using a pistol in melee.
You don't want to be a skirmisher. Yeah, you don't want to be a skirmisher.
Also, I have a thing for interrupting magic.
Pistol in melee.
I actually have a thing for that.
Oh, no, Dub had another part, and then Blackstone had a question as well.
Sorry.
Yep, Dab first, Blackstone later.
I was asking special ammunition types for bows, crossbows, and guns.
Where it comes to special ammunition for crossbows, guns, and stuff like that. When it comes to bows, you can, of course, experiment as you will when it comes to bows and crossbows. We, of course, have a whole document about our special ores that we have, current tide, mithril, stuff like that. And of course, if you have an arrow and the arrowhead is made out of mithril, it will punch harder, it will do more damage than a normal arrow or, a bolt. And if it has any special properties to it, let's say we do have a player who's an engineer and he engineers a explosive bolt on your crossbow, it will of course have that explosive effect on it. Where it comes to guns, for example, no one has yet made anything like special ammunition from a gun. So if you guys want to invent that, you're free to try, as guns are pretty new in this universe. Yes?
What about the orichalcum shot?
Oh, right. Orichalcum is the one exception, as it is a very soft metal, so it won't actually explode the gun.
Okay, Blackstone had a question.
Yes, Blackstone.
Right, this is a main question, but also a question that probably needs to be said. What are pikes essentially? Are they kind of medium in between range and melee?
Pikes are a cavalry weapon. They're usually used to kind of bridge the gaps to allow others to do things. You're not gonna find them commonly on the battlefield, and if there are one, they tend to be in the back, so it's counted as melee, but it's a long melee.
Okay, so they're pretty much a mix between a lance and a spear then.
It's like a really long spear.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
As an example, if you have a pike and you don't have any of your buddies around you with pike, you're out of place because pikes are used in a formation. They are used to, for one, stop cavalry, and for two, keep the other pikes away from you. Because if I demonstrate it like this, if Pancake, that's Pancake, right? That's Pancake. If Pancake bats away my pike like this, he can very quickly go in for a strike, and I'm forced to just bat him away with a long stick. You of course can get lucky and impale a fucker with a pike, which is pretty deadly, but generally if you want to fight with a pike, you do it in a formation. So if you find like 3 other players to be pikemen with you, you could potentially be a deadly force, but all alone, a pike is a very difficult thing to use.
Yeah,
that's why
they're
people
normally
usually
used to
bring
stop
backups.
horses.
Because
in that case, well, oh god.
Because you would generally do this if you saw like cavalry coming your way. You would just.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. Alright. One last thing, I'll let go. Hey, can we use these as back banners then? Because there is the banner option on this. Okay.
Yeah, if it's like, hey, we need people with banners, then you'll use it with the banners.
Yeah, if you're like NPC that's part of a faction, you can use it as a banner of your faction. In fact, banners were a big thing in medieval times. Taking away your opponent's banner was a sign of, that was something that was celebrated. So don't mind if people target you specifically if you hold a banner.
Oh yeah, honestly, my thing is literally just samurai back banners, just like this, essentially.
No.
Yeah.
All right, and Pancake has something for interrupting magic.
All right, first Pancake, then Dino.
So, funny thing, if anyone looks in RP system, there's an alternate magical training thing. Nobody's done it because nobody's found the right people to ask, but there is a way that you can learn how to deal with magic and not be magic. That might count against fighting someone who's magical, and might even give you an action to interrupt mid-cast as your own action. There's some experimentation here. Just gotta go out and find it. Like I said, it's an RP in systems. The most recent thing in it. That's my little thing.
All right.
Dino.
Yep, Dino.
I was gonna mention with the banner thingy, it also helps having colors displayed, because like in real life, if you know what color your friends are, you know what color the enemies are, and it's less confusing when you're actually fighting. Because
That's why when we have NPCs, we tell you guys choose a specific color and match color.
Yeah, because there has been moments here, funny enough, where I've been playing an NPC, and then someone on my team with an entirely different color has swung at me because they don't recognize the colors. It has happened once or twice.
Yeah. Generally, we try to make sure all of our NPCs, if you're on the same faction together, that you generally have the same color. Sometimes it slips through the cracks, but we generally try to make sure that.
Alright. With that being said, are there any other questions before we go into practice? Dub.
Plumes. People shouldn't wear plumes unless they're like of a high rank, because that means you're commanding something.
It does get
You're
confusing.
Yeah.
I agree.
Commander.
Yeah,
Reed.
plumes
Also-
may look cool, but unless you're a commander or the person that's supposed to be telling everyone what to do not have the feathers.
Another thing is, it also helps to denote, okay, well, if that guy's got the plume, then that means some fucking other person's a town guard, and they're the knight.
Yes, a plume or any sort of indicator like that is it basically means, oh, this is the commander. As a player, I'm going to target you. So, unless you are a commander, when it comes to this specific avatar, it is recommended that you do not have a plume on, as people will mistake you for either a badass or a commander. If you are a commander, of course, feel free to wear a plume and fuck people up, but yeah.
Good thing this guy is a badass.
Plus, there are many of other hats you can use. Like mine. Alright. Any other questions?
Do you have any questions, Tommy?
No.
Okay.
Alright.
Don't think so.
In that case, how about we do a little bit of a sparring, if there is no more questions?
Alright.
Let's do
People line up for partners. I'm gonna first count how many there are. That's are you fighting? Or are you just...
I know we've been yapping for about an hour. I am very sorry, but it was very important that we get the basics down before we start.
So make even lines on either side of the arena.
A reminder that most of this is being given to you in the context of NPC versus players.
One people line up right here, other people line up right here next to Dino. Of course, if you cannot, then don't worry, we won't hold it against you.
Really? You want to sit up?
Is Logan alive?
Yeah.
I think we had 2 people pass out.
Logan, you there?
Understood. I think Logan has indeed passed out. He's Australian. I'm not sure what time it is for you guys, but I think it is late or early.
I think it's really early for Australians, though.
Holy shit,
Alright, we have Bessa, we have Tommy, and we have Dino here, and we have Transform here. Over here we have Blackstone, Dab, looks like Amli's in on the fighting as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Hey, Tech. Yes, you furry son of a gun. Join in on this side because we need equal numbers.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to
Now,
get
a
into
good
the
thing
Rock
to
Knight.
do for these to... Granted, yes, we have lower numbers, but you can still kind of get lost on who you're trying to fight. Walk forward, physically touch your weapon with who you're fighting.
Yes, Dab, what's your question?
If you're using a shield, don't use something like this, that, or anything other than an arming sword or a long sword. Those are heavy as fuck and they're two-handed weapons.
Yeah, okay, this is just a gauntlet bait.
MD, if you can, for it to be fair for model things, be in Stormtrips, please and thank you.
You can call me if you want.
There isn't exactly many other small weapons to use.
You wanna fuck it?
You can use one-handed weapons, Dino.
Holy moly.
Well,
Yeah, one-handed
Also, I have
section.
bots,
dagger
my
as the
ass.
other
Holy
one-handed
shit.
one.
Just put it out with
Okay, just don't use the dagger.
Well, in one-handed, there's multiple files. There's swords.
Yes, there are
weapons, and
maces
then
in the
other-
one-handed section.
I'll just use the long sword.
The 1-2 buckle me
There's-
shoes,
It's better.
baby.
There's main hand and then there's also offhand, so keep that in mind.
Indeed, there are 2 different offhand options, and you can switch hands between them as well. So, with that being said, for the rules of this small bout, all of you guys are on the same strength level. All of you are town guards for this small demonstration. So, with that being said, the goal for today is, for this round, you guys will be just fighting each other to show off your skill. The next round we will do something a little bit different, but this one, it will be just fighting till the other person decides, okay, you got me. So, with that being said, in 3, in 2, and in 1, you guys may begin, and DMs, you guys will be looking at how people are fighting.
Push up.
The 1-2.
Mute.
I need a move it. Okay.
Down low. I just full on punched my fucking handbrakes.
You okay?
I'm still getting used to my surroundings.
Let me know when you're ready.
You take lead.
A reminder for our lovely fighters here: if you're getting too close to the edge, do a nice blow and do a reset back to the middle. Practice what you've learned. There we go. Nice one. Nice dino. Doing good.
I'll get you.
It's Tommy Blackstone, you guys are doing good.
Remember, the shield might be good, but the arm might get battered out of the way. Still flesh under there.
Remember, a little more opening with the shield.
Good job, Transform Andy.
Use a mental visualization. Imagine the person you're fighting is a player, and then everybody do that. You're making sure to give them all the openings they can to have cool moments.
What I would recommend for you, Bessa, is if you cannot do more movement, I'd recommend using your joystick for little bit flashes of here and there. However, if you're limited by movement, do not worry. We work with what we have.
Sword.
You swing like my sister.
I thought this was a compliment.
Face to face.
And a reminder, we don't want the I stab you and I stab you till we're both dead. That gets tedious after a while. If you feel like you've been knocked out of guard and you're hit, take it. There's no harm, no foul. You'll come back anyways.
Shield users, your shields can also be used as weapons. Everyone forgets that a shield can actually kill a person if you know how to use it.
And a fist and full plate is awful. Especially if the opponent doesn't have armor on somewhere.
Goodness, Tommy, you killed him so hard he broke his leg.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on with my leg.
Don't worry, I got a healing arrow.
That's fun. Fighting a polearm's hard.
Don't worry, I got you, Blackstone.
I love fighting.
Healing arrow.
Kitchen gun.
I looked at my things thinking I had him in the gauntlet. As I did, I
Right.
was like, oh wait.
That was a good first bout. I saw good definitive winners for most of you. Good job.
Back to your positions, ladies and gentlemen.
Reset,
Back
reset.
to your positions. So, before we start the next set of rounds and next set of rules, does anyone have any questions, comments, or perhaps advice for the other person?
I'm good.
Yes, Bessa.
So this is just some general advice if you're new to combat. When would be a good time to tell whether or not you're going to win the engagement? Or is that purely up to discretion?
So, What's a good time to tell if you're about to win or lose an engagement? If it's a player-to-player, it's usually a feel for it. You usually, Amdi, if I may, you dance around with your opponent, you strike at each other, you do your special things, pirouettes, stuff like that, and eventually in your head, one of you decide, okay, I fought this person for a little bit, and I know their skill level. Oh fuck! I'm going to start either winning or losing. In my situation, oh fuck! I'm going to lose. So, a good tell for the other person if you decided, hey, I'm going to be the one who loses, is oh fuck, oh. You know, a bit of a struggle. Oh fuck. Generally show off that you're struggling against the person and then take the final hit. If you decide that, hey, I'm going to win, and the other person agrees with you, stay down, you. Now, this is something that is a bit on the intuitive side. Generally, it requires a lot of trust between one another, since we are not verbally saying, hey, I'm going to win, you're going to lose. We are doing that through motions, through the way that we fight. So sometimes it is hard to tell. Yes, Bessa.
Additionally, that's why having your skill level and your status is so important, so that your fighting partner can flash it and see what level you're at, and then go from there. Additionally, if you're at the same level, what would you do?
If you're at the same level and you're fighting equally, it is, as I've stated before, usually intuition or to see other person's reaction. If the other person starts to, lose, then you start to win. But sometimes you can also decide, hey, this is a good fight, but I'm going to take this one as a loss. We are, at the end of the day, here to LARP. If you think this is something out of your character's league, then it is fine to lose. Do not be afraid of that.
Can I say something?
And sometimes a DM will just go, with a natural 20, you cut that person in half.
But what if there isn't a DM present by chance? Do you take the moment to take 5 and call one in, or do you just play it out?
So, for example, when it comes to PvP scenarios, you always need to call a DM for a PvP. The reason for that being is, I know it kind of sucks to have a DM babysit you all the time. However, in a PvP situation, a DM is needed to make sure that everything was recorded and everything is fair, and if needed, to be the one to deliver a death roll. When it comes to a NPC versus player, usually it's a player that's going to win, as an NPC's job is to give you a good bit of fighting and then losing. Unless, of course, you are something like a mini-boss or an NPC that's designed to just fight and show off how strong you are. Usually a DM will instruct an NPC, okay guys, you're some basic bandits, go down after 3 hits. You're a special one, you're the bandit leader, give them a good fight, I'm going to tell you when you're going down. Or you're going to go after 6 hits instead of 3. Or, for example, if you're an NPC and you start winning against a player as an NPC, well, when this situation occurs, do not be afraid to hurt a player as an NPC, but also don't murderize them at times. Remember, coup de grauing is not something we do here. However, if you are a NPC and you're fighting against a very injured player, a very tired player, they've been fighting for the whole session, they've been struggling, they had multiple injury rolls, and even as a normal bandit, if you're winning against them, well, you're winning against them.
Essentially, that's seal clubbing.
I'm hoping that answered your question, I think.
Yes. Additionally, just to make it clear, when a player is down, leave them alone. When they're down, they're down.
Yes.
You don't need to do like they said, coup de grace or like just a finishing blow. Just let the timer do its thing. Move on to the next guy.
If you get a player to be down, you'll better stay down, you goddamn Australian, and then you just move on to the next player. Sorry, I wanted to call you something else, but Australian it is.
If I can add something up here, Thanatos.
You
Yes.
inverted fuck.
Just to give a little more of a more in-depth thing, as Thanatos explained sort of for the, essentially narrative. Narrative is also a thing, especially if it's bouts between NPCs and NPCs until the players arrive. You're both either RP winning or RP losing until the players come in to assist the side they're assisting, and that's when you start basically in the context of, okay, the good side's here, so we're going to start pushing back. If it's NPCs versus NPCs, you more than likely know how it's going to flow, so it's much easier when it's that way. Just another set of the options there for you.
Yes. If you are an NPC on the side of the players fighting against an NPC on the side of the enemy, if there is no player anywhere near you, something ain't right. So, what you do is you either fight each other and you wait till a player shows up and either intervenes or a player can witness that you've killed an enemy, or you see, okay, there is no one around us, let's move this fight closer to the players to give them a better scenery. For example, in the mission against the Bloody Tide, we had an entire city as our set piece to fight in. And we had NPCs both allies and both enemies. So for situations like that, it is good to fight close to where the players are, not somewhere on the other side of the city where no one can see you, as modules missions are usually for the players, and when it is your turn to be a player, you of course give and take. You give someone a good scenery while they are doing their player stuff, and they will give you a good scenery while they're doing their NPC stuff. Yes, Dub.
I was just gonna say, if you make them look badass, they'll make you look badass in the future.
It's about
Indeed.
Yeah.
So if you're an NPCing, don't be afraid to give it your all, and just remember that they will give it their all in return for you as well. Yes, Dino?
On top of kind of what Dub said, eventually, this has happened to me a few times. Eventually, you will get a flow for how another person fights, and they will get a flow on you, and then you can have even more cool moments. I would recommend that when you're actually fighting somebody, just pay a little extra attention to how they fight, because then you can pick up on what they do and better fight them as an NPC to make a better fight scene.
Additionally, if you see somebody who's new to roleplay just as a whole, please go at their pace, because they're new to this and it's overwhelming. So be a friend. Whether you're new or old, try to be accommodating on both ends, whether it's you or the other person. It's good to keep in mind the limits of everybody around you, including
Indeed.
yourself.
If I can give an example of this, why is my tracking fucking...
My grandpa fell on the floor.
Sorry.
And I will help.
Let's say I'm a newbie, I'm a new player, and I'm going to fight Amdi.
Kind soul.
Andy is an experienced fighter. They've been in roleplay scene for years at this point, and I'm a fresh baby. Just bought my first VR headset, and I'm going to start swing. What usually people do at first, I noticed, is they move their sword from side to side while they're trying to block, and they usually just take swings, usually kind of like this. So if you're against someone who does this, don't be afraid to fight them. It can be a bit awkward at times as they don't really respond to you, but it is a learning process. It is a learning curve. Eventually, through workshops, through practice, these people will learn how to actually sword fight. Just if you're fighting a newbie, don't be afraid to go at their pace, and don't be afraid to give them a few pointers here and there after the mission or the session is done. Because we've all been beginners at one point or another. So don't be afraid to fight someone who fights awkwardly or doesn't move. Yes?
Hi. I know I'm
Oh,
not
hello.
technically participating in the workshop, but I would like to say something in this part. I know it's difficult, and I know it's a pain in the ass, but if you could, when fighting someone like me, just keep in mind that we are not as flexible, we're not as capable. So there are some things we just can't do. Like if you run to our side, we can't whip around to fight you without moving our legs. We're going to have to reposition ourselves to fight you. I know it's a pain in the ass, but it is very important that people like me don't stress our bodies out. So going a little easier and a little slower on us, even if we're not new to roleplay fighting, is important.
Take the time
Indeed.
to read their body language. That's a really big thing.
Yes, sometimes people just cannot move or don't have enough space, or, if you're fighting someone and you notice that they are sat down while they're fighting you, don't be an ass and just, I'm not going to fight this person ever again, it's not fun. There is usually a reason why people are sitting down while fighting you or just don't move as well as the others. They may not have as much of a space all around them. They might have some medical condition, which means that they cannot stand or just jump around for long periods of time. Bessa, what's your extension of moving around? I'm sorry to point you out because I noticed you don't move a lot during combat.
I don't have a lot of space, and also I have a lot of physical limitations. Like I'm not that mobile. I have a lot of mobility issues, so I try to keep it within the confines of where I'm sitting, or just right about where my desk is. Because I don't have a lot of space. 2, mobility issues, and 3, I also have dogs that like to run under my feet. So that's also another thing. You don't know the person's current living situation or whether or not they have any field hazards, if you will. So just learning how to read people's body language is a really big help. Being able to pick up what they're putting down, I can barely, there's a certain amount of space that I can move. This is about my range. And also field of vision is a huge issue. Not all headsets are created equal. Right when I said it, I hit the button that makes my peripherals. So let's say this is about as far as I can see out, right? That's completely different from some of you who have a wider cone or range. So again, reading people's body language is a huge part of combat, and also just the trust system as a whole. Is paying attention to how your partner's moving, because if for example, Sock and I are very limited in our movements because of medical conditions, as well as possibly even space. So if you
I am as well.
If you've seen us move a little bit more stiff, then you would take it upon yourself to not exaggerate. You would do well to slow down and try to make sure that you're telegraphing a lot more clearly, so that we have time to react. Additionally, people tend, we didn't bring it up, but latency is a huge issue for some people, especially those of us who are either in Europe or Australia. So please put that into account whenever you do anything.
Indeed.
Blackstone.
Awesome. Blackstone?
Actually, I think Dino wanted something first.
Yes, Dino?
Another thing too, this is just something that I feel like everybody should know. Don't get me wrong, we all love seeing people do, like, especially with full body people, this goes for you guys more so. We love seeing you guys, take hits, fall over and all that, but please do be careful. I've heard so many stories of people, like, doing a dive backwards and, like, landing on their table and, like, breaking their back.
You know, that actually
There has been
segues
actual
into my,
issues where
in my
full
thing.
body role players have thrown themselves back and they've had to go into the hospital.
Yeah, one of my best buds
Do
put
not
his
do
leg
that.
open on his dongle, dude. It was bad. I don't know
On
how
his
he did it, but he did it.
A friend that a lot of us know had to go get stitches in his head.
Yes. But this
I punched an
also
entire hole in
extends
my
to
closet.
people with half body as well. People with half body.
Oh, okay.
We sometimes have to exaggerate our
Welcome back,
movements a lot
Majima.
in order to be shown. So just
Welcome
remember
back.
to be careful, because
We can't
I know
just kill
I've
them all.
broken
They
a
have
couple
to be
of
taught to
things
be
during my
murderers.
fighting in half body.
Etiquette
and,
murderers.
I know I busted my knee once trying to fall over.
Can't just murder all of
do
them,
be
then we don't
careful.
have any players.
I may be limited in mobility wise, but I'm not limited in strength. I have cracked my desk before when airboxing. It's not fun.
Okay. Dino has an addition to this, and then we'll get to Blackstone, so we're not.
Yeah, just to finish off my point, please don't be afraid, and this is a solution I see a lot of full body people do, which is a good one. Please don't be afraid where if you know, if you want to take a good hit, don't be afraid to just quickly say, hold up a second, lift up your headset, look around to see where you are, and then put it back on before you do your dramatic dive.
I beg you.
I learned how to safe fall for that exact reason.
I do that a lot.
Alright, Blackstone.
Alright, so this actually segues into my thing. If that does happen, do pause and let the person check to see if they actually broke something, because I will admit, I have a whole bunch of Warhammer figures right here. I really should not have done that. Anyway, I keep accidentally getting.
Nice one.
Yeah, I know, right?
I accidentally almost killed my Miku figure in the one commented. Yeah, Miku.
I actually really tried to stay myself. I punched.
Minecraft out, guys. Please be more spatially aware. I beg you.
I destroyed my piggy bank with my fat ass.
I fucked
Damn.
the entire door.
But yes, if you're fighting against a person, if you're fighting against a person and suddenly you hear a ding and oh fuck from the other side, pause a scene for a second and be like, dude, you okay? You good?
Hold your hand up, just hold your hand up and then
Yeah.
give a moment of
Just-
rules. If you need to pause your scene, hand up.
Yeah, make sure that they are okay, and if they are okay, continue the scene. If they thrown a plate off of a shelf, which is something I've done once, they have to go clean that up first, so just move out
Yeah,
to the
but-
next
I
opponent,
have
or
done
just wait a
shit
bit.
like this so
Yeah.
much.
Like, I kicked my bed frame so fucking hard, I actually
Do you remember the time
collapsed.
Blackjack punched his full wooden door and almost broke his hand when he was fighting.
Oh,
me?
yeah. I
Oh
punched a
my
hole in
God,
my wall
okay.
at least twice. It's not fun.
There's
Anyway,
a clip that still
nevertheless,
floats around of
please have
FT
spatial
that
awareness.
meant
Please be
something.
conscientious of who you're fighting and why. If people get hurt, call a DM. Always, always,
Indeed.
always. If somebody genuinely does get hurt or collapses, call a DM, and we will do what we can for them. If somebody does get hurt, please do not crowd around them. Never do that. That is so stressful. It's overwhelming, and it's probably really scary for those who might have hit their head. So, call a DM. Make sure that the space is clear. Don't shout.
Yeah.
Calmly direct other people away from the incident. Because
Like-
safety is our top priority here.
For an
Indeed.
example of kind of what to do, there was a different roleplay. I'm using myself as an example. I did a full fucking collapse. I couldn't move. I hit my head. One person knew exactly what to do. They sat between me and the group, and when the group rushed over, they went, "Don't. Please back that way. Do not crowd around her." But they stayed at a safe distance to keep an eye on me. And after I got up and was moving around, they still stayed at a safe distance and checked to see if I'm cognitive and all of that. It ended up being fine. I didn't actually damage anything.
Thankfully.
But something like that, if you can tell someone has a hold of the situation, don't try to overstep it, because that will make it worse.
Just let the DMs do their job.
This is a good segue to tell you guys, if you are accident prone in VR, if you want, you can give us like an emergency contact or something like that. We've done it before with people, so if anything, please be careful, and if something indeed happens, the DMs will try to do their best to help you, but remember, we are still on the other side of the planet.
Yeah, the only people that can help you physically are the people that we can get to you.
Indeed. I'm sorry, Amdi, I don't know what state you're in, so I ain't calling the medics for you, because I don't know how. That being said, don't dox yourself, please. Don't.
No,
Yeah.
no. If you have a friend that you trust, by all means give them the information and let them handle the situation, but don't ever give your personal information out to just anybody. Make sure it's a trusted individual.
Another example of this is, there are people that I know that actually live together. I do not know where they live. I don't know their personal numbers. But I have them both on Discord, because one of them has seizures. So if the one's having a seizure and they are having a seizure way longer than they normally would, that is a safe time for them. I hop on Discord and I message their roommate going, "Hey, they're having a seizure." And then they will get to them. So if you have something like that, as well as someone who's just on Discord that you want to at least have as a way that we can contact them, that works as well.
But let's not prattle on too long about safety, because we were gonna we were gonna get on to the next part of a combat practice. It is also currently 10:52 right now, anime.
Yep.
Indeed, we are 2 hours in, so don't worry. After this next set of practical exams, I will let you guys be free. No worries. This time what we are going to practice is player versus NPC. One side will be NPCs and the other side will be the player side. So with that being said, who'd like to be the player side?
Alright, player over there.
Dino. Dino, Transform, Tommy and Bessa. You guys are players and you guys are Town Guard, except for Tommy, who's a knight. This side, you guys are bandits. Except for Amdi, who's a bandit leader, whose combat level is also a knight, same as Tommy's. Bandits. You guys have 3 hits.
He's just whipping just a gold fucking coin. He has gold.
Bandits, you guys have 3 hits. Give them a good fight. Bandit
Or farming
leader,
with his cards.
you die when a DM says you die.
Actually, AMD, you want to switch sides to me?
For the sake of this exercise, we will be using melee combat.
AMD, you want to switch sides since half the two knights
no
fight
Indiana
each other?
Jonesing.
But yes, when it comes to this exercise, this is a group fight, so if you're done fighting your opponent, you can help out your buddy and switch to another one. Which is something that we have forgotten to talk about, so I will give a quick example right now. Let's say Dab is fighting someone. Chink, 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 chink. And right now, sorry, I'm another person right now. You're still fighting that me from over there. You want to join in. How do I join in? A good shoulder bash or a good pommel strike usually does the trick. That's the end of that demonstration. So, with that being said, I think we have lost Bessa. Oh no.
Yeah, no, she's shaking her dog.
Yeah.
Understood.
Plus, I want revenge on how many times she shot me.
I shot you only 7 times.
Exactly.
In that case, let's wait a little bit for Bessa. If she doesn't show up within the next
If she
2
comes in, I'll
minutes.
just jump back in as well.
So what I'm hearing, Blackstone.
Actually, you can jump in, Tech, because you're an NPC. Remember, what is the rule of NPCs? What is your goal?
What I should do is I should return to my roots.
Die spectacularly.
Indeed.
Here.
So, with that being said, if the two sides are ready, the player side and the NPC side, in a 3, in a 2, in a 1,
I guess we're doing it with this
start.
Yes. Murder. Maim.
I do need my music.
Get him, Evan.
Mine was an autoplay, and now City Escape is playing.
Dun 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. No, that's rolling around the speed of sound. Well, that's the start of the song. Rolling around at the speed of sound. A place you should go, gotta follow my Rambo.
Remember, NPCs, your goal is to give them a good fight, however, you die after 3 good hits. Remember that. Make sure to sell those hits well.
Come in, nice. Perfect. That's where different spots.
Blackstone, explain RP.
Get some help?
No, my hand's fucking up.
Understood.
Yeah, I was more saying we have different like. Let's go, pretty boy. Practice, right? Take it. Music.
Alright, Amdi, Bessa, you guys are fighting. Bessa, as you fight this opponent, you realize he's 1 level above you. How do you fight? Alright, DM rolled for that leg. Speed, you are successful. Haven't been down. Tommy and Tech. At the end now we roll a test of strength. When it comes to test of strength, your level doesn't matter as much, and this time it shall be Tech that wins this test of strength. How do you react? Good. Take a hit, but don't die yet. Remember, Tech? You as an NPC, 3 good strikes and you're done. Also, also those bucklers behind you look like ash cheeks. Just wanted to let you know.
Damn right. I'm caked up on a smoothie.
But it's a Wednesday.
And this is a good show of multi-fighting, fighting against multiple opponents at once. At the current moment, Amdi is fighting 3 town guards and 1 knight, which means they are still at a disadvantage, so eventually they will go down.
Now, what's important about multi-fighting is that not everybody needs to attack at the same time. I'd say let everybody get a hit in at least once or twice.
Indeed, take turns with it.
It's not just about you. It's about sharing a scene with everybody.
Or you can
And
cheer
if
on your
you-
leader. Fill the scene.
Indeed.
Back them up.
Be the hype
Remember,
man.
if you're the one doing the multi-fighting, wide swings to make sure that everyone is away from you.
To work out and actually do cardio that isn't just this.
It's kind of hard to do that.
Alright, you guys can return to your spots.
I don't want to beat the shit out of my knees. I'm only 30.
Yeah.
Wait, you're 30?
Everyone here.
Yeah, full 31.
You could buy like a gym mat, and then just have it on the
This is
floor.
in December.
You were asleep.
I mean, I thought it was a trash pad, but I need to get tennis
What if
balls.
you came up with an opponent that needs 2 shields? Well, in that situation,
I'm listening to music and I'm flipping it on B.
You have.
You double
sorry,
mic'd.
here comes. Depending on what weapon you have, if you have something like a mace, for example,
I'm
you
listening
will
to
have
music and I'm
economies
flipping
of
it on beat.
time fighting someone who's predominantly a shield user. If they are a shield user, they will more than likely fight like a boxer, because with 2 shields they will usually do movements like this. So you usually fight them the same way you'd fight an unarmed person, however they are a lot more tanky than an unarmed person. Usually you just try to hook their shield or try your best to get behind the shed shield when you're fighting them.
Additionally, when you're shield fighting, don't block your body the whole time. It's bad manners.
Yes.
Make sure that there's always equal opportunity for anybody involved. Try
A
to
good
ditch them at your side and then move them accordingly.
Yes. A good sport will leave themselves a little bit open for the other person.
Yeah, or a good thing, if you have a weapon like this, take a little ragdoll bit.
So a good way to do it with a shield is that you keep it tucked in until you are actively shielding. So keep it tucked in at your side or whatever stance you're deciding to take up. At least give it a little bit of a chance for whoever's coming at you to.
When you swing,
pick up.
Definitely have it be a ragdoll.
When you swing, don't swing with the sword and the shield like you're supposed to.
You're gonna break your kneecaps
Open the shield up and then swing.
I'm gonna turn you into a fucking velociraptor, motherfucker.
So, with that being said, does the NPC side have any pointers for the player side and vice versa?
Give mine life and see.
I prefer honesty. Let me know if I did bad.
Yeah.
Honestly, the only issue was on my end was lag.
You're doing alright.
Alright, I'll try to move slower next time.
No, I'm lagging like a bitch. It's nothing you, like, it's nothing you can do to.
No, that's exactly what I mean. I didn't pick up any lag on my end from you. But now that I know that you're experiencing lag, I'll try to move slower if we engage again.
9 times out of 10, whenever I'm NPCing, I always let the player lead the fight and then I react.
Yeah,
So
that's a good way
like
to do it.
with Tommy, when I was sitting behind you, I was physically waiting for you to start an attack, and then I was going to react by doing. That's what I did to you last mission. Like right next to you, so then you can go like, oh shit, I'm being multi-fighted.
Generally speaking, so NPCs are reactive instead of combative, then, if that's the case.
That is sometimes a good way to go, Tech. However, something that I have noticed, and it's not a fault of yours, but as an example, Chapter 1, when you were fighting Amdi as an orc, what I've noticed you do is you kind of just let yourself get beat up, and then you reacted afterwards. Where it comes to fighting and giving people a good fight, it's usually a give or take. You give something, that you take something. So if you just wait for a person to attack like this and they don't attack you, you're kind of just stuck. So it's good to sometimes, as an NPC, to also go on an attack. Just always keep in mind the 3 good hits and I'm down. I always keep that in mind, as this is a general good rule of thumb.
Man, I thought he was a rock. Yes, I'm about to.
Yes, that is a rock knight. It's an actual NPC.
So additionally, adding on to what Thanata said, if you're trying to figure out how long or like what weight measure you should do, focus on how many hits you're doing per encounter. So let's say, actually, Tommy, I'm gonna borrow you real quick. Something that I picked up was going in 2 to 5 hits per your turn. Keep it turn-based, right? So if I go in 1, 2, 3, and then I reset to let the other individual continue their side, and then it's a back and forth. And if we decide to do a clash, we have to make sure that we choreograph and like telegraph that very clearly. So going in, we're gonna reset. let them know that you're ready to go, and then 1, 2, 3. And then when it's your turn and you like reset or like move your sword back a little bit, a good way to show that you're resetting is moving your weapon back a little bit to let signal to them visually that you're letting them get their hits in. That's something that I do in Rosewood, which is really helpful. But over time, if you get to know somebody, you'll pick up their synergy really well. It just takes a lot of practice and time to get to know somebody. But to reiterate, 2 to 5 hits. Visually reset or move back just a little bit to let them know that it's their turn to like start swinging. NPC wise, I would stick to like 3 to 4 hits, and then on the like 3rd or 4th hit, take that in account of who gets what hit, like if you get hit or not, right? It's just a good rule of thumb. That's what I do at least.
Indeed. Rosewood does have a good policy where it comes to give and take, where it comes to hits. Ignore my size for a moment. 1, 2, 3. The other person attacks. Block, block, block. 1, 2, 3 attack. Other person attacks. Block, block. Ow, I got hit. So, for one of our last exercises, because we don't have enough time to do ranged combat, we will do ranged combat on another workshop at some point.
We can do it during the Warhammer combat one, the one shot.
Bro, we can focus on ranged during Warhammer.
Yeah. It's got a lot of
Don't worry, you guys will be a bunch of guardsmen from what I heard.
What?
But
Hell yeah.
No.
yes, Transform?
We see one space marine, we're fucked.
So, for our last exercise that we are going to do is giant enemies. We will do it in 2 turns, so who from this side would like to be a giant enemy? Amdi, you can clone this model. Hopefully I have my cloning on.
You raised your hand a little too late, Dub.
Who'd like to be a giant enemy from this side? Alright, Dino. Clone me.
Oh, bro came out naked. Oh my god.
You customize your character, choose whatever mace you like.
Just like they were born. Oh my word.
Isn't the cycle of life beautiful?
If we decide to go to the Warhammer,
Armor yourself however you like. For this exercise, at first, what we are going to do is Andy and Dino will be on the same side, and you guys will be working together in order to defeat those giant foes.
So Thanatos, how do we combat a big guy? Do we want to set up an example to show them what it's like?
Indeed.
My shit's not being weird. Let me switch over here, and then let me switch
When it comes to
here.
giant enemies, we don't exactly give them training levels at times if they are just a giant monster. But if they are more intelligent, we might. Usually when it comes to fighting against a giant enemy, they are... Let me find my goddamn sword. You can go about 2 ways. You can be smart about it, or you can just brute force it. If you're brute forcing it, that means that your character is usually one who wields a giant blade like Tommy, who has a triple advantage in strength, so usually Tommy would be actually able to block and fight a giant enemy on a similar level to what a normal enemy is. However, if I'm a human fighter and, you know, you're a giant ogre thing and I'm fighting you, I'm going to do a lot of dodging because I'm afraid to get hit by this thing, and I'm going to strike when I can. Of course, the damage that I do is, well, small compared to this thing, so giant enemies last a lot longer. How you can... yes, Bessa?
I was going to let you finish up, but additionally, how hard do colossal weapons hit? For future reference.
Colossal weapons hit for 2 hit points, usually. The same with guns. If you get hit by a colossal weapon from this thing, it's the same rule as if you would have been hit by a gunshot. So if you get critted by a colossal weapon like this, that's minus 3 hit points. Though DMs can sometimes be more generous than this. Sometimes. Really depends. But usual rule of thumb, you get hit by it, minus 2 hit points. Yes?
And when you're fighting an enemy, like an NPC using colossal weapons, should they be aware of the fact that it is a colossal weapon that they're fighting, they go down easier? Or is it still going to be like 2 to 3 hits that they go down?
Usually when it comes to colossal weapons and NPCs, for example, we usually have Amdi wielding that colossal sword. If you're just a regular ass bandit, sometimes you can even go down in one swing, but a general rule of thumb for fighting a colossal weapon as an NPC, if you're just a regular schmuck, you go down a lot quicker than someone with, a more agile weapon.
Yeah, because I'd be fighting people with this big-ass sword, and then it'd take a bit for them to
Of
go down
course,
also.
having a bigger sword has its own disadvantages, as you're a lot more slower, so while you may hit harder, you're not going to be killing things as fast as you think. Yes,
Gotcha.
Transform?
Makes sense.
I had a bit of a question, but I think I got it partially answered. I was interested in how, because you were saying, Tommy, you have a triple advantage, so I'm guessing like that's
it's my major.
above a major. So you're
No,
That's not above a major, it is a major.
So wait, majors are
Triple advantage.
So, to
Majors give you 2
stab.
extra dice rolls, minors give you 1. That's why it's a
I guess if you want
triple
to
roll.
I guess double advantage would be the correct term, yeah, no.
So-
so it's like triple advantage, you get 4 dice?
If I may, very quickly.
I was just
A minor, I'm going to roll you 2 times, a d20 and a
it's an
d20.
advantage.
For a major, I'm going to roll you 3 times, d20, d20, and a d20.
Right. Yeah, no, I just got
It's a
confused when I
language
said
thing.
triple
It's a
advantage.
double. It's 2 extra advantages. He's just calling it triple because it's 3 rolls.
Yeah.
One
we rolled 3
advantage,
times.
double advantage.
The only time I've had it.
Yeah, it was just the wording that got me confused, because like, wait,
The
there's
only
a way
time
to
it's
get
a
triple advantage. for a
the only
moment.
time I had a triple advantage was when I drank that strength potion also as this character. It was fun.
Yeah, I remember that.
Now imagine this mother quacker drinking a greater strength potion.
That's
Oh my god.
I would have to roll for this man 5 times, I think.
I think you
4 to
could
5
just
times.
I think you
Holy
could just
Christ.
actually just do.
Yes, there are
That's
greater and regular potions. They are in the potion document.
Cloud stripe this bitch.
So, for giant opponents, other than brute forcing it with slashing and dodging, it's good to be smart about fighting them. I've seen a lot of people trying to climb onto their backs, a lot of people trying to swipe their legs, and that's usually how you want to fight against a giant opponent. You want to be smart about it, because you can only dodge so much before that club eventually finds you. You, as a giant person, you usually want the players to dodge your club, but if you see them get a bit too cocky, don't be afraid to just clobber them, like I did Elish once upon a time and he went into space.
Twice upon a time.
Twice upon a time, in one session, in one fight.
Pole arms and spears are also a viable, good idea for trolls and anything big. Get range.
Indeed.
Yeah, those pipes are gonna do damage. There's a
So
lot
for
of it.
soloing, it's better to just try to be smarter than your opponent. But what do we do if we're multi-fighting? How many people per colossal do we allow to happen?
So, there isn't an exact limit, however, a good rule of thumb is have 4 or less people against... against one big unit. As a colossal yourself, you're going to do wide swings against those people. You're going to strike the ground to make a shockwave, or you're going to go in for a grab or just a giant bitch slap onto someone. Indeed. Also, ranged weapons are pretty good weapons to use against those guys, as they are usually pretty slow.
You don't say.
Indeed. So, with that being said, if we all reset ourselves for a moment.
So, question before we do start.
Yes.
Are these allowed?
For the sake of this exercise, yes, one of you can have a gun. Which one of you would like to be?
Can I be Adam for this, or do I?
You
switch back
can,
to
you can be
I'd say
Adam
let
for
Blackstone.
this.
I'd say let Blackstone have the gun since he brought up the question, just so you can get a feel
Yes.
for it.
You can have the gun. And you, Tech, you can have your baby as well.
Hey.
The Rock.
The Rock.
Clean.
That's Rock Jr., I will have you know. So, with that being said, unless there are other last second question, it will be you guys against Amy and Andy and Dino. So, in a 3, in a 2,
You can flip it.
in a
It's
1,
pretty
we shall begin.
Cool.
E.
Fucking kneecap his ass.
Click it while you're holding it. You
A
can like flip
gunshot
it.
rings out.
Oh.
You have done some damage.
You can have heads or tails. It's a nice little coin flip.
Remember, Blackstone, you cannot reload mid-combat. You have to take time.
Got it.
Good dab, good. You got your spear stuck into them.
It's a wonderful fidget, isn't it?
Yes.
A quick
I
jab
can
like
practice
that.
tricks.
That's
Like I can
only
do
minus
this.
1 hit point for you, Bessa.
Or something like this.
Thrown
I
against
find
the
a lot
wall,
of the fidget
dab.
things for the
DM has rolled
shops.
that it was a 10, only minus 2 hit points. You're still good to
I went
fight.
to the ground. I planted me a dumbass tree.
A shot rings out and hits one of your eyes, Andy.
I guess I'm out then.
Alright, yeah, your head's crushed and then your legs like powdered.
Tommy, as you're fighting against this opponent, you manage to overpower him.
From the side.
What do you think, Meji?
Good, you reacted good to
What do you think?
Bessa,
I like
Dino.
combat.
Good job. Always
Don't say
remember,
we don't
as a
combat.
big guy, there will be people who are trying to strike from the sides. There will be people who will want to go in from behind. You always have to be aware of your surroundings as a big guy.
I'm used to range.
With the one.
Hey, fan, are there any respawn?
Once you die, you are dead, sadly. So how did you die, Blackstone?
What's my second character?
Let's see here. Go, come
He
here.
became a dumbass tree.
It's time.
Yeah, he smacked me over here. He smacked me up there. I became a chandelier. He pulled me down to smash my legs.
Keep in mind, you are a player in this situation. Would you let your player character die like that?
No. He'd be down but not out sort of situation.
Yes, you would be down but not out. So be right here. If another person can come up to you and heal you, you will be healed. Alright, that's a good one, Andy.
You have to get a roll for that.
You've been stabbed.
I
Good.
need a DM. I need a DM.
DM present, and DM has ruled out that you are not strong enough to pull him out. You need help.
I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do. Oh shit, he's still alive.
You can't go to ground, remember?
Oh, I did. I was
Indeed.
just trying to knock you out.
Bessa, you see one of your friends struggling from under there.
Thanatos from the top rope.
From the top ropes.
Understood. Dino, you see someone jump onto your back. You're disoriented. You're focusing on trying to get this person off of
Get
you.
him!
You're distracted. You're confused.
Bring them
Why is there a
low.
twink up on your back? And with that, Tommy, as this giant is distracted, the DM has rolled a natural 20 for you. You will disembowel this opponent.
Woo! Yeah! Clap, 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 clap.
It usually does what it's in
That's
the
what I'm
arena.
talking about, son.
Yeah.
Alright, our two giant opponents are dead.
I sure came back.
You passing out on me?
So,
Don't want to offend you, but
with that being said,
Don't do that. You need to eat food or something.
do the giant opponents have any pointers to the smaller opponents, and do the smaller opponents have any pointers to the giant opponents?
The people I fought did pretty. Yeah, the people I fought did pretty good. I love how you went into the bit of I hit you up, you got your head stuck in the ceiling, so I pulled you out, and then you let me hit you into the ground.
Good improv.
If I were to give any advice to what I saw, the swings were good, but I felt that one grappled dino was a bit too fast. Besides that, you did good.
I like that too. I agree. I agree with that. I was a little too fast in the grab.
Oh, that was funny.
Andy, do you have any pointers to them? Or to your fellow big guy?
Folks, I thought, no, they were doing good. I'm very
Actually, like,
constructive, I know, but
the swings were fine, but for future reference, just try to always try to make sure that you don't go into the bigger guy's blind spot, because 9 times out of 10 they are gonna have to end up multi-fighting, and try to stay within their peripheral. Don't sneak attacks are like a one and done. If you join the fight, you get a good hit in, say, and then let the hit come in, and then join the front end so that they know that there's another person joining the fight.
Indeed, using Dino as a reference point over here, you want to fight, don't move Dino for right now, you want to, this is about your limit, this side, over here, here, and this side. If you are anywhere behind them, the same rules apply as from fighting a normal person from behind. They cannot see what you're doing, yeah. Unless you're trying to climb up on their back, or you specifically are trying to, hey, from behind, something like this. But otherwise, try to find big guys from the front as well. Yes, Dino.
Fair to them, because they are gonna have to multi-fight at some point or another.
Two things on that. One, I'm kind of a special case because whenever I'm playing an NPC, I always have my mirror on, so I don't have to turn. I can just see what the person coming up behind me is doing. But that's a special case. I know not everybody likes doing
It's good etiquette. It's good etiquette regardless to stay within the peripherals of the bigger person.
Yes.
Solely because it's just
I know how to
polite.
multi-fight
We
it.
can't feel each other.
Heads or tails?
We are, so the best thing we do have is visuals and sound effects. So
Heads.
staying, let's say 4 is like the max.
You win
for
heads or
what we
tails.
do. That's what I think is probably for the best. So 4 max fighting a big guy like this is probably about as much as anybody should do.
Some crazy ass
colossal
stimming I'm
fighting.
hearing up there.
So 4 persons from arm to arm, spread out evenly. And again, taking turns, getting coordinated is a really good way to combat them as well. Let's say like Tommy goes in for a big swing, or like also people try to parry colossal people all the time.
Sup.
You can't parry this. this is all me, baby.
My belly button. Don't get me started.
That
please.
is correct. If
Don't.
I
choose
see you
tails.
try to block or parry a giant guy, if you don't have any advantages to defense or to strength, like for example, I know Kraja could parry you, I know Tommy could parry you,
One of
I
these
know
is your
Lady
point,
Erebus
the
could
other one's
parry you,
Nars.
I know Miliana could not,
This one.
and I
This
know
one's his
Torel
coin.
could not.
That's
So
2 for 2,
unless
baby.
you are strong, unless you're big, try to dodge, as this will be the best policy you have.
I think Kai is strong because I do have a gigantic weapon, so...
Yeah, you got more than one gigantic weapon, let me tell you.
You got a gigantic weapon and no strength edge. That's what you got.
It's so weird, isn't it? I know, right?
Which means you probably aren't gonna ever wield that heavy. Well,
There's a difference between parrying and deflecting.
Go on.
Typically when I got something big like that and I'm Torel,
Bro, I just need some Guilty Gear fucking music
within reason.
for
I'm not gonna
Shadow.
You really like Bitcoin. Can't blame you.
Example from AMD's Big Boy.
Gonna
So
truth,
if I'm
hold me
Torel
high.
and I have my sword, you pull out your big fucking mace thing. So you come with a horizontal swing. I'm meeting it like that. Or
Oh,
if
so
you do
are
that
you
again.
guiding?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
guided, which is deflecting. If you do that again, I do.
It's not a parry where you intentionally are trying to get them off
Where I
their guard. You're
intentionally
guiding it so
push
that
it
it
away.
doesn't hurt you, but it doesn't
Yeah, so that it doesn't hurt me.
disarm.
you're making the enemy's momentum your momentum, which is a good move.
Yeah.
Sometimes, when it comes to situations like that, a DM cannot always tell if you're trying to parry or guide
Because a
away.
parry, if you come in, and I'm Torel, a parry is like that,
shit.
and I'm dropping it that way. A deflect is it's coming and I'm meeting it at the same side and I'm pushing it that way.
Exactly.
I see.
Should've gone that way.
You're using its own
momentum.
So basically, if I
Yes.
may also try this. Oh
Yeah,
fuck.
and it slides
Something
across the
like
blade
this.
instead of hitting you.
So it's
But
part of
you-
dodging, is what you're saying. Like,
A part
it's
of
an
dodging,
extension
yeah.
of dodging. Okay.
Alright.
It's
It's
more
the advanced
combat
version.
etiquette to watch out for. And another thing, Bessa, if you would stand like about here.
Okay.
So right where she is standing is the very edge of my peripheral. If she's like in a bit of a groove, I can't tell what's what from there. The only reason I know she's
Same with
there
me.
is because I have my mirror bound to my X button on my left, so I
So
can
you'd
see
say
at least a little
about
bit.
here. About here is where it ends, but you can just barely see me, so maybe coming in a little bit more closer or
Yeah,
tighter
right
to form.
there is visible.
So again, tying back to what we were talking about earlier, it's really, really, really important that you try to make sure that when it comes to colossals, 4 is like at most the max you can do, but try not to overwhelm them because people are naturally going to want to multi-fight a colossal, but also you have to remember that their spatial, they're very limited in their sight, just like we are, but because they're fighting more than one person, you have to make sure that you are within their vision, and also they do have blind spots. So if I were to like get up in their personal space like this, they're not gonna see me
Yeah, I
unless they
couldn't see her.
deliberately look down. Yeah. So you have to stay. You go in for the swing. You make sure they know that you're going in for the swing, and then you reset. You always reset whenever you fight a colossal. It's really important. You don't just swarm them. It's not fair. Or fun. That's it. Final Justice, is there anything else that we want to go over?
Let's see.
I'm eating that.
Dana has
I know.
Yeah, one thing I want to mention, which is something which I do notice, which I don't
Those
believe was
things are
covered.
very loud.
I could be wrong. I could have missed it.
I
But,
can't hear that.
I know I know what was covered was adding cool moments for players, but there's something which you shouldn't do, which I notice happens a lot in modules, which is there's a lot of times when an NPC will look to counter something cool somebody does and just completely shut it down. It's happened a lot of times. Like one of the simplest ones is if somebody manages to like get on high ground and get like their rolls and stuff and wants to do like a cool jumping attack, I notice a lot of time NPCs will just go, I'm gonna point my weapon straight up so you'll help yourself on it.
Or catch you.
If they got the roll advantage, like the player got the roll for it, and it's a successful roll, don't counter. They got the roll. Just take the hit. It's great. There's nothing.
There's us.
Especially when there's some player characters who are not built
Or
to be
was
front
us.
flyers. Like I'm gonna use quarterback for example.
It still
to be
is.
the agile guy to go around flank,
It's
like
a-
go into high ground, that kind of
There's
stuff.
yeah,
There's so many
there's different
times when I'll be
spectrums.
doing that, and
Hmm.
then like some NPC will instantly know where I am.
Our
or
spectrum
they'll be
is
like,
you gotta be
"Oh,
close
you're
to
right
someone.
there. I'm gonna shoot a gun point blank at you or something like that. It happens a lot.
Unless a DM told you you are badass like this, you should not be countering players like that. Remember, as an NPC, it is up to you to give players cool moments. So in return, they will give you cool moments when you're a player and they are an NPC in return.
Always keep the character level as well, or like their skill
Indeed.
set, because that's why you always keep it on your head, because they gotta like do a quick. Always, I make it a habit whenever I go into combat, because there are other RPs that have similar systems. I always flash the name tag to see what their status is to make sure that I'm fighting fairly. It's a good force of habit. It'll become like second nature if you do it enough. It's really helpful. But keeping track of their strength levels is important as well.
my trump card.
Oh.
Alright. With that being said, we have hit, I think, 2.5 hours?
It
I
is
believe
11:31. I was about to say 1. Oh my god. Imagine 11:31.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I am... I know today's workshop was out of just talking, but it is very important that we covered all the basics, that we had a conversation with one another about how the... I forget the word. Etiquette, yes, how to do combat etiquette, that we all give each other advice, and hey, in the future, when we are all fighting against one another, we are gonna give each other some cool moments. Yes. Next workshops that we will be doing, we will be focusing less so on melee and more so on ranged combat and magic combat. So look forward to that. As for the date of that workshop, that will be sometime after the break ends, because we have... Indeed. If you guys have any last second question, feel free to ask them. If you wish to know how to fight against a dwarf, let me know. Or if you want to know how to fight as a dwarf... Oh, wait, I don't have to tell Tommy that.
Everyone jump Jericho.
Oh no! No, please, no!